here today to be the MC for the Hoosier Pattern casting event tonight. We're really excited. It's a gathering of a number of foundry artisans that travel all over the United States to introduce metal casting to the masses, show them the magic of metal casting, and hopefully we'll roll back the calendar and the clock, take you back to techniques that were probably started in about 400 BC. But it's really thought that shortly after the advent of starting and maintaining fires, that metal casting evolved. The modern man didn't have the ability to immediately start a fire. They would bank their fire at night. Banking fire is maintaining your fire because as you sleep, no one's going to stoke the fire. And so you would surround the fire with earth and contain the heat. Well, in the morning, when they go to restart their fire, they would find these little globules of metal. And originally, they were thought to be gold, but they were in actuality probably copper. So when they made these globules that looked like gold, they thought, oh, I created gold, and it wasn't that hard to find. But when they started beating it, they found out it got harder as opposed to maintaining its malleable nature. It's like, what can I do with these globules? What if I collect them into cavities that I would carve out in the soil or rock? And that was where you had the advent of molding. We do the same thing with the melting apparatus you see, is that it's designed to be a continuous melter, but we can also bank the cupola. What you would do is when you were done making liquid metal, but you didn't want to go through the apparatus to reheat, you would actually slow it down, limited wind, and you would keep a basin of molten metal inside the cupola for a limited amount of time. And then when you want to start it, you blow additional air in and you could start the process over. When you make a casting, you have to physically make that cavity that you're going to fill with liquid iron or liquid metal. And then you're going to bring that liquid metal to that cavity, and that's the plumbing or gating system. And so there's all these aspects that are in there. The cupola here that you see, you have a large cylindrical stack that is lined with an aluminum refractory. That's so we don't melt through the metal stack, and we can contain the molten metal in the heat. At the bottom, we put a material that's called coke. This is our fuel. Coke is made by taking coal and driving off the volatile content. Essentially, we create a pure carbon fuel. That carbon is ignited, waiting for it to get red hot, and then we'll introduce the charged material, which is made up of obsolescent cast iron. With that charged material, they're also adding additional coke. You're always replenishing the fuel because some is consumed in the process. Today, the participants at this casting event will duplicate that ancient technique by carving out intricate shapes into a sand mold, which will be then cast tonight. Community castings are a great way to introduce people to the manufacturing that's present. Hoosier Pattern, it's a way to open the doors in a safe environment and basically teach people about the magic of metal casting and, more importantly, what is being done at Hoosier. This is a great way for people to understand that there's all these opportunities. So this is what connects the dots. It's really to bring an appreciation there. And it's also to foster interest in maintaining and keeping that industry alive. You know, I'd really like to thank Hoosier Pattern for fostering this event and the number of sponsors that have come together to bring this out. And all the people that you'll see pouring on the floor, these are people that do that because they love metal casting. And they love creating something that wasn't actually in existence just moments before. And that's the coolest thing about making castings.